as I said earlier, I thought Sané was great, and they were just going through United's defence like a hot knife through butter. Gab, you'd have made runs through there, no problem.
Just easy, Al. No graft. The midfield couldn't get around the pitch. Eriksen, Casemiro haven't got the legs. I mean, the young lad Musiala, he was having a field day. A little bit of acceleration. He was running through the heart of the defence, and I just felt sorry for some of the players in the end. It was like they were chasing shadows.
I don't think it's a great Bayern. I don't want to, hammer Man United. I'm not. I don't want to do that. But I don't think it was a great Bayern side either.
No, not at all. And there's a lot of new players in that Bayern squad. But if Manchester United played like that, Al, against Man City, wow, it could be a tough day at the office. But just the midfield, the defence, the goals they concede, it's so easy for players to get shots off. I mean, Chupa, Moting come on, and he was just chopping people into the box, getting shots off. They had 19 shots in the game by Munich. It's just so easy. Yeah. So easy, mate.
Okay, so let's get more on last night's game. We speak to the Guardian's Manchester football correspondent, Jamie Jackson. Jamie, a very good morning.
Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Jamie, 4-3 sounds a cracker, it sounds close, but it wasn't really close, was it?
No, not at all. Gabby just said it there, really. Manchester United have got problems all through that team, and the last thing you need is your new sort of 50, 60 million pound goalkeeper throwing one in. You sort of set the tone. And, I was at Manchester City the night before. I also watched a bit of Real Madrid before this United game. And City are absolute universes ahead. And I think you're right. This Bayern side, remember, I think City put 4 past last year in the quarterfinals. It's not a great Bayern side. And yet, really, as I think Stuart Pearce said in your clip, it was the most one-sided 4-3 ever. The Casemiro goals at the end put a bit of a gloss on it. And I don't know, it's just, I was on pre-season with them. Now, I know it's pre-season. This is in America, but they only won one game. And I thought, oh, hello. This is not normal for them because I do all their pre-seasons. I've done for the last 10, 11 years. And they usually do all right. They usually win all their games. They certainly don't lose sort of 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4, whatever it was. And it's just there are problems everywhere. And this Burnley game now on Saturday, which I will be at 8 p.m. at Turf Moor, it's a big one.
What about as well, Jamie? I mean, we know Casemiro can't get around the pitch. He found it tough yesterday, defensively poor. But Rashford, he's sulking again. What's happening now? Watching him, and I'm like, doesn't look like he wants to be out there. He just doesn't look happy. He had nothing for Upamecano, did he, last night? And the money he's earning and the what he means to Manchester United, he should be standing out in these games.
I think there's an element of that, Gabby, but I was watching it closely, and often he would get the ball and you'd look around, there'd be 3 or 4 Bayern players surrounding him, and I'm thinking, where's the movement? And again, comparing it to City, every time that a ball carrier has the ball, they look up and there's a lot of movement. Rodri, Grealish, Foden, you name it. There's players there moving around, giving the player in possession options. Rashford scored 18 Premier League goals last season. That's his best ever. He'd be lucky to get half of that the way they're looking at the moment. Højlund, the one plus I would say, there's 2 maybe. Højlund scoring a first goal, that's good for your centre forward, your new centre forward. And listen, it's a small sample size, but Reguilon looks like he's up for the fight. Yes. Considering he could get in the Spurs side, looks like he's got a point to prove. But this is the big issue, or one of them. There's not enough players in that team who want to really sort of show, right, I'm going to at least play my best.
But Jamie, I thought you thought about it as well. It didn't look like they were in a Champions League game. I mean, McTominay come on. Have you seen the clip of him where he loses the ball and trots back and they go on a counter-attack? I'm like, you're playing Champions League football?
I agree, Gab. I was just mentioning because the game at the weekend, which he started and they lost, Brighton, honestly, there was a moment in it where, very similar, he loses the ball and he's sort of chugging back, and I'm thinking, you're 24, 25, you're supposed to be a sort of defensive midfielder, a bit more dynamic as well, where is the sort of desire? It's a very, very, I was like, wow. And again, it was evident yesterday evening. So if you're 10 Hag, someone asked me, is it the manager, is it the players? I would suggest at the moment it's a bit of both, really. Too many performances like this, and you're completely right what you said earlier. They come up against a proper team like Manchester City. They could get them a pace.
Well,
he's overseen a few.
Yeah, Jamie, this Burnley game live on talkSPORT, by the way. Now, I hate to think what would happen if they don't win that. Even a draw at Burnley will be, the alarm bells will be going off here. It's a must-win game for me.
100%. I mean, if they lose that game, unless it's sort of like, they played unbelievably well and they're unlucky, then, the sort of question people like me will be asking as sort of reporters who cover Manchester United, what's going on with Ten Hag's future? You have to ask it, because then it'd be 60 feet out of 8?
Yeah.
4 on the bounce, would it be? I mean, I don't care which job, which team. That's a very bad trot. But if you're Manchester United, you're in your second season, you've had 2 summers, it's easy to say this now, but I have written this earlier before. I didn't think Onana was an absolute must get. I understand De Gea, bit faulty and all the rest of it, but I just felt like they needed a proper centre forward, not Højlund, who might be the goods, but needs to be proved, or a proper central midfielder to give the legs, to give the dynamism. Whatever happened to the Frankie de Jong sort of midfielder that Ten Hag was after, the summer before? He got Casemiro as a sort of lastminute.com because he couldn't get de Jong, and this summer just gone. Well, he sort of abandoned that. I don't know. It's all these things are adding up now. And listen, he's got 12 out. And I understand that in football, you don't use injuries as an excuse. But I do think 12 is a little bit of a freak number. I don't know what you two would think. Yeah.
Nah, Jamie, I think the mix is wrong. There's no doubt about it. And at the back, as Gabby said earlier, it's just not working. They're not playing as a unit, that back 4 or back 5, whenever they change. It's the first time Manchester United have lost 3 consecutive matches in all competitions since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back in 2019. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
It's I don't know. It's sometimes hard to put your finger on, but I think midfield's not good enough as well. Gab,
I think as well, though, Al. You look sometimes, don't you, when you see the body language of players, and they're not running around, they're not chasing back. Then you start to look at the manager, because he shouldn't be accepting that.
Okay, how bad is the situation at Manchester United? United fans, we want to hear from you. The number 03717 223344. Adam's a United fan. Adam, a very good morning.
Good morning, Adam.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Hi,
good, mate.
Go on, Ad.
Well, it's just I've been saying it for years, and it's just Gary's highlighting it now about players like Rashford, and there's players like Martial at the club, and there was players a few years ago like Pogba, and they're just, like Gabby was saying, he's not interested when he's on the pitch. I know he scored a lot of goals last season, Rashford, but you just see it when we don't have the ball, he's just got no interest to close a player down. There's very few players at the club who want to go and put that 10-yard run in. When you watch teams like City or Arsenal, or even teams like Brighton, who are now up and coming, they all want to press the ball, they all want to win the ball back, and we just don't want to. And I think that's what leads to a lot of our goals. It's just no one wants to chase the ball.
Is this a must-win Saturday, pal? Is it a must-win at Burnley? A draw not good enough, or a loss unacceptable?
I think a win at Burnley for Man United has to be a win, no matter what the season is, whether it's home or away. You have to beat Burnley. It's Burnley at the end of the day. They have to win that.
Adam, can I ask you a question, mate? I watched both games last night, Manchester United and Arsenal. Arsenal looked like they were excited, passionate to be in the Champions League, and that showed all through the game. Man United looked like it was a game that wasn't Champions League. There was no fight, no desire.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that every game. I just feel like there's a lot of players there who are just comfortable now, and they've been comfortable for years, because they know that week in, week out, regardless what performance they put in, they're going to get played. And I don't know whether that's the manager's problem or whether it's the club's problem. I feel like the business we do in the transfer market's just terrible. I think people using the Glazers as a cop-out, because the Glazers, regardless of how bad they are as owners, they still pour money in every transfer window, and the selection of the players we buy is terrible, because every year when players come in, they just crumble.
Adam?
Anthony, the goalkeeper, they're all rubbish.
Adam, you're breaking up, mate. Thank you. Adam, a United fan. So it's a must-win game. Saturday live on talkSPORT against Burnley. Thanks to Jamie Jackson. I think Jamie's right, by the way, with the keeper. He's no doubt the keeper's decent, but De Gea, did he have to change? I don't think so.
Burnley away.
Oh, no.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.